if I'm going to tell the eastern part of Pennsylvania football fans to relax, and I've been doing that to Philadelphia Eagles fans for weeks now, I guess I should turn attention to the team that's in the western side of the state that actually employs the quarterback who employed that phrase for Packers fans back in the day, and Aaron Rodgers, who told fans to RELAX. And he was asked that question a couple of weeks ago when the Steelers were getting pounded by the Chargers on a Sunday night back in, let me get this correct, Week 10. Then we saw what happened against Chicago when Rodgers couldn't answer the bell in a game that you know he wanted to answer the bell with his left hand or left wrist having a fracture in it. Then we saw what happened against the Buffalo Bills. Joey Bosa making him look like he had just come from Kevin's house in Home Alone. Like that's what was going down. And Rodgers was saying, I don't need to tell him to relax. We're good. And then they go into Baltimore and beat the Ravens. And then they follow that one up with a win last night on Monday Night Football to wrap up Week 15 against the Miami Dolphins and eliminate the Miami Dolphins, who had won 4 games in a row from playoff competition. The Dolphins are now out. And the Steelers are now 1 game above the Ravens, entering the final 3 games of this season. And that's, if I'm saying to the Eagles fans, hey, all you need to do is win your division and get a home playoff game and see what happens, I'll say the same thing to Steelers fans now. And I know they might not be sitting here saying I'm less confident than you, Rich. You're always caping for Tomlin. We've seen this movie before. They're looking at the Broncos, who are above them in the standings and are on a tear since Week 4, as opposed to being on a tear since losing in Week 14. Or winning, I guess, in Week 14 at Baltimore. You know? You'd rather be on a tear since Week 4 than Week 14. But, again, you've got to catch fire at the right time. Once upon a time, Big Ben went from a 6th seed to a Super Bowl winner. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And what you can see out of Rodgers, in the same way that, Shane Steichen said, hey, this 44-year-old Phillip Rivers didn't forget how to throw the football, nor has this 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers. The ball still flies out of his hands, man. And certainly in the cold, which is what you need. Certainly in a way that it didn't with Tua. Tua's interception last night, as soon as it left his hand, Cooper turned to me and said, that's intercepted. A 14-year-old sitting on his Los Angeles couch was saying that's going to be intercepted. Yeah. Rodgers is just not. Last night, Aaron Rodgers threw 2 touchdown passes in a game again this year. He missed on only 4 of his 27 throws for 224 yards, a passer rating just south of 130. Man. And it was career game 166 with 2 or more passing touchdowns. That's good for 3rd all-time now, broke a tie with Peyton Manning. He is 7 games behind Drew Brees. I don't want to even do the math because he's that far behind. Tom Brady's the only one above 200 such games. 204 for Tom. And you just get a little bit of running here from Jaylen Warren and get a little bit of running here from Kenneth Gainwell.
Yeah, DK's picking it up.
And that's what you need. And throw it to your wagon of a tight end. Man, Darnell Washington gets the football in his hands, and I sit up and I'm like, let's watch the act come in. Let's see this guy just truck people.
How come they don't run the tush push with him?
Well, Cooper,
I know they're doing it with Hayward's.
Well, I'll answer.
Younger brother, right?
Cooper said the same thing to me, and I said because I think Connor Hayward is closer to the ground to get the snap.
Okay.
Yeah, and taking the snap's not easy, right?
No.
Well, when you're 6'9" or whatever, however big Washington is.
And it's not as if Washington's not used in that formation. You can use him to push.
Sure.
Because I will never forget Darnell Washington at the Combine. He picked up Fred the Sled, which is what Daniel Jeremiah refers to that sledge. He used it like a Tonka truck toy. So you're using him to push. It's not a bad idea. And then, of course, Rodgers stands back there with his hands in his pockets.
I know, he's just kind of like,
first
hey.
down. There it is. Point.
He's doing Leo.
He's doing Rick Dalton. There it is. First down.
Remember when Jay Cutler would go out to that wide receiver and he would just stand there? That's pretty much what Rodgers is
Rodgers
doing.
like, I have nothing to do here except,
I have nothing to add.
Yeah, Aikman had some fun with that one last night.
Yeah, guys, at one point, though, they're going to snap him the ball because everyone's just thinking he's standing. There's going to be a trick play with that.
Yeah, maybe.
So you are what you are, which is a first-place team, having won 2 in a row. And by the way, winning without T.J. Watt is not what the Steelers normally do. It's only their second win in 13 games with T.J. Watt out due to injury. They're now 2-11 since 2017, including the playoffs without T.J. Watt. So it's all working for the Steelers right now, who are 1 in front of the Ravens, already having one in their back pocket with 3 to go. And Mike Tomlin was asked about winning back-to-back games for the first time in some time, and his answer is classic.
I know you're always talking about stacking wins, but that was your first back-to-back since October.
It's that time of year. It doesn't need to be said.
The importance of playing well in December. Do you feel like your team's getting there?
See you next week. Keep watching.
Straight out of Tom.
Let's talk about the defense, Mike. What'd you think about that defense that won without T.J. Watt for only the second time in 13 tries?
We were at less than full strength, but everybody is, and we embrace that component of it. We believe in the strength of the pack, and a lot of guys stepped up certainly and made that a truism.
Made that a truism. It's also a truism is that Rodgers is throwing and playing with a bunch of guys that he has thrown to before in Marquez Valdez-Scantling and others who are just joining the crew in recent days, like Thielen and
MVS, I think, was signed yesterday morning.
And he scored a touchdown. And Rodgers talked about that group, and he's kind of using it as a rallying cry now about how they're coming together as a team when it matters the most.
It's kind of what I said after the game. There's some cast-offs if you look at our roster, which makes it really special. Kenny Gainwell signed a next-to-nothing contract. Connor Hayward, an afterthought, had a touchdown run. Marquez been on a couple teams. Adam Thielen got cut. Samuel was on the street for a long time. So it says a lot about the character of the guys we brought in.
Do you consider yourself one of those cast-offs too?
No, I'm not a cast-off.
Great follow-up, by the way.
That is a really good follow-up.
Great follow-up.
I like his answer.
Yeah, I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer. I'm not a cast-off.
Well, I mean, he
Well, no, listen. The Jets definitely
cast him off. Yeah.
And I thought that's where he was going. And a great follow-up. I would have asked the same thing. Are you considering yourself
really
I'm a first ballot Hall of Famer. The cast-offs are the ones who are playing for the Jets and the Giants right now. Not me.
Nah.
He is playing.
Alan Lazard just got released.
I understand the matter. Say it again.
Alan Lazard just got released by the Jets. I wonder if.
Well, guess what?
Here, Coach.
If he's going to be in Pittsburgh.
I mean, people talk about them making moves, right? These aren't like sexy moves that they're making, but these are veteran receivers, man, who know how to ball.
Yeah. I know Bills fans will be like, well, let's. Why aren't we in the mix? They did get Brandon Cooks. We're waiting to see if he's going to. Right now, at least they got a cook who's cooking. Rodgers also had this to say about, the offense and moving forward here.
How much should we expect from this offense?
You guys can expect whatever the hell you want. We haven't been the most dynamic, explosive offense this season, but I feel like we've been good in the red zone. I don't know where we're at league-wide, but we got to be in the, upper half at minimum, I would assume. And, we've had stretches where we played good football. I think tonight was the first time we had complimentary football in all three phases, and that's the standard. So we're going to try and meet that next week in Detroit, or this week in Detroit.
Can confirm for Rodgers, the Steelers are currently, where are we right here? It looks like they're tied for third in red zone offense. So, and then Detroit. Oh, baby. Rodgers one last shot at the NFC North in Detroit where, he reigns Hail Marys on that franchise, as you know. That's going to be an awesome Week 16 game. Absolutely monumental for the Lions having a chance to move forward. And the Steelers now, according to Next Gen Stats, have a 61% chance to make the playoffs. And oh, by the way, if Rodgers wins in Detroit and the Steelers win this game, hey, Steeler fans, guess what you get to say? We just clinched a winning record. Once again, get to say that.
Yeah, I don't think.
But right back where they've always been.
We're not going to apologize for winning.
9-8.
But you know what? This offense isn't sexy, right?
It's not.
It's not. I believe I saw Matthew Berry called the fantasy results of last night's offense from the Steelers an Arthur Smith fantasy special. Hey, you made it all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Check us out every single day streaming live on Disney Plus and the ESPN app 12 to 3 Eastern.